Today's topic of conversation is going to be Microsoft Game Pass. And what's insane is the fact that there was some numbers thrown out there on how much Microsoft pays to acquire the rights to allow people to use third-party games on Game Pass. And it really does make me scratch my head as to why the price keeps going up. This is probably why the price keeps going up on Game Pass. So let's talk about this article. Let's go. So real quick, this article is from GameSpot. They do have a report here from Bloomberg, but when I went to go to the Bloomberg, they were like, "You need to subscribe," and they're trying to charge me. So we're not going to Bloomberg. Anyways, Microsoft spends about $1 billion to get third-party games on Game Pass. To me, that's a crazy astronomical amount of money, especially with how many first-party studios that Microsoft owns, and they don't really put out any new games, right? They own Bethesda, they own Activision Blizzard now, so I wouldn't be surprised if a lot more of those, games for that. Yeah. Anyways, we're going to continue. Bloomberg reports that Microsoft now spends $1 billion a year getting third-party games on the subscription service. A flat fee of millions of dollars upfront to add the title from smaller publishers to Game Pass, which to me, for a smaller company, it does make sense to take, $1 million, $2 million just to get the game out there and get it in front of people, get eyes on it to generate the talk behind your game. I think that's a really great concept, and that's one thing Microsoft does do is that Game Pass does have a ton of indie titles. GameSpot has contacted Microsoft in an effort to get more details on this. Presumably, Microsoft would pay more for a developer to bring new releases to Game Pass at launch compared to licensing agreements for older titles, which to me, getting license agreements for older titles makes sense once the life cycle of the game is come and gone. And it's kind of slowed down. It hits that peak, and then after 6 to 8 months, Microsoft swoops in, offering you some money and tries to get you out there. 2021, Microsoft CEO Phil Spencer spoke openly about how there's no defined path for the deals it makes on Game Pass. He told The Verge that Microsoft Game Pass deals are all over the place, and he understands that this might sound unmanaged, which it completely does, especially if, you continuously charge players more and more money and there's less and less content available. Netflix, I'm looking at you because I will admit, for a long time, I love watching like The Office and all that other stuff on Netflix just for them to get it removed. And then I started looking for new stuff to watch during that same time period, and it dawned on me like I don't use Netflix enough. So I canceled my Netflix for like 2+ years, and I've just finally like re-upped my Netflix, and now I'm thinking about canceling it again because I watched everything I wanted to watch. Anyways, in some cases, Microsoft will completely fund the development cost of a game, and the studio can go and sell their game on rival stores like PlayStation, Steam, or retail, while Microsoft enjoys the benefits of having another Game Pass title, which that right there is not a bad deal, especially for a developer, a smaller developer, or medium-sized developer that's struggling with finances, and Microsoft's like, hey, man, we'll offer you X amount of dollars if, to finish development, add it to Game Pass, but you can still sell it in retail and, in the PlayStation Store. For them, they've protected themselves from any downside risk. The game is going to get made, and they have all the retail upside, like I was saying. In other cases, a game might be finished, and then Microsoft works out a straight cash deal to bring the game into Game Pass, Spencer said. Still, other deals involve usage and how much monetization a game has through in-game sales. Sorry, I totally missed like a whole bunch of words there. If this sounds like Wild West, it is because it is. Right here, this is the quote, because they're talking about experimenting, but when we started, we had a model that was all based on usage. Now, mind you, Microsoft has the keys to the kingdom, right? Most of the partners said, yeah, we understand that, but we don't believe it. So just give us the money up front. Why? Because you never know. Microsoft can fudge the numbers and end up lowballing and not paying the actual amount that is due to whatever whoever the developer is. Why? Because they hold all the information. While Microsoft can pay smaller publishers big money to bring their titles to Game Pass, larger publishers don't take the money or agree to put their titles on Game Pass for a number of reasons. Strauss Zelnick, the head of GTA and RDR Take-Two, told Bloomberg that putting its big games on Game Pass at launch doesn't make sense at all. I 100% agree. We're going to get into that point here momentarily. Zelnick has been saying it for a long time. Take-Two has, however, brought some of its older titles to Game Pass, including Grand Theft Auto 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2, though both have since rotated out of the catalog. I think it's a really good idea. Why? Because it's allowing people to go and enjoy those games. They're on there for like 3, 4, 5 months, and guess what? The sales for those games have dropped, but you rotate them out of Game Pass, you're going to have those people that are like, damn, I really want to play that game. And if you put said games on sale as soon as you rotate them out, it causes inflation in sales and drives more revenue towards that company. So it's a smart move by Take-Two to do that. Recently, Zelnick discussed Microsoft's decision to put Call of Duty Black Ops 6 on Game Pass at launch, saying it will help drive Game Pass memberships, but only for a period of time. Another factual statement. Why is that another factual statement? Because it's kind of like sports fans out there. I had a buddy of mine that would get cable and have cable to watch NFL from like September until February, and then he wouldn't have cable for the rest of the year. Why? Because he can listen to his baseball on the radio. That's exactly what he told me. So it's going to be just like that for people where like they're going to get it. They're going to play, Call of Duty from, November until February or March, cancel it and only keep it for like 4 to, 6 months out of the year instead of keeping it the entire year. Many have questioned the economic stability of launching brand new games on Game Pass, and that's one of the reasons why Sony doesn't launch new PlayStation games on PlayStation Plus. Which I think PlayStation Plus, this is my opinion 100%, PlayStation Plus has way more games on it that I like to play than what Game Pass does, right? And not only that, but it's just not sustainable, like it's saying, to put those new games out on Game Pass day one and not be able to recoup the money. I think that the only thing that Microsoft has going for it is the fact that it is releasing, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Game Pass day one, but it's also selling it on the PlayStation, right? I'll have to find the article, but Sony, when they were trying to fight Microsoft acquiring Activision Blizzard, said somewhere in the ballpark of like there's like 40 something percent of PlayStation players only fire up their PlayStation play Call of Duty. It's like, bro, why didn't you open your wallet to try to acquire Activision Blizzard instead of fighting it in the courts? Anyways, in other Gaming Pass news, a new standard tier of service just launched. We don't care. But it's just interesting to hear that, they keep changing tiers, they keep increasing prices, and it costs them $1 billion to acquire these third-party titles. Let's go full screen. I want to hear y'all's thoughts. Like, do you think this is a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? Or do you think there should be a model out there that game companies kind of, gentlemen's agreement where they can set up the agreement to keep costs low for us consumers when it comes to subscription services and allow us to continue to enjoy Game Pass or PlayStation Plus, what have you, but not try to undercut each other or overcharge us? Let me know down in the comment section. It's, just something just interesting I was reading the other day. Anyways, you guys have a great and wonderful day, and I'll catch you later.